Hello friends, welcome to my channel RaviROza. Today we are going to discuss the callable statement. In my previous video we have discussed the prepared statement. In our series it is going to be the fourth section for JDBC. આપણે શરૂઆત જે છે એ connections થી કરી હતી like this. Then આપણે statements જોયા હતા and then the prepared statement. And now we are going to discuss the callable statement, which is there for executing the stored procedure, which is stored inside the database only. So let's see how the callable statement works. And even before that, આપણે callable statement try કરીએ પહેલા we need to be very sure કે આપણા પાસે પ્રોસિજર્સ જે છે એ કઈ કઈ બનાવેલી છે અથવા પ્રોસિજર્સ છે કઈ છે કે જેને આપણે કોલેબલ સ્ટેટમેન્ટથી જાવાની JDBCની અંદર આપણે કોલ કરશી. So I have my MySql. Okay, let me show you the two procedures that I have defined here. It is 1 and 2. One is there for inserting a record into the employee table. This is the syntax for creating procedures in MySql, the delimiter, and yes, it is the procedure. Create procedure emp insert. It is going to be my procedure name. Here I have three set of values or three parameters for my procedure, right? The first parameter is p1, which is relating to the employee number. Then is the second parameter, which is referring to my employee name, and the last is p3, which is going to be the salary. Here is the parameter type. You can have parameter type in, out, or in, out. If you're passing the values from your Java code, then all the parameters should be the in type. And in case if your procedure is returning something to the JDBC or your Java code, you should have out parameter like the second procedure. Let me save this. Here is the another procedure where I am having the employee the name is employee, get employee name, in which I am accepting one value as an input parameter and returning something from my SQL. See the procedure, select ename, right? It is going to be my field name, which is the field name that I am having right here. This is the field name ename into employee name, which is my parameter here. So which employee name should be returned from here? From emp, which is going to be my table, which is emp, where employment number is equal to p1, which is my first parameter. So this is the procedure which is having one in parameter and one out parameter. In parameter has to be passed from the Java code, wherein out parameter has to be returned from here only. And here is the way. Select employment name, name into emp name is the way to pass values to its out parameters. We need to mention the data types. I'm sure you have observed this one. And let me go to the first procedure again, because we are going to demonstrate the first and then the last one. The create procedure emp insert and three values, and this is the query for me. Insert into emp values p1, p2, and p3. See, why do we need this callable procedures? એની જરૂર શું પડે? Because in most of the times database developer gives you the procedures so that your task will become easier. You only get to know how many parameters of which type that you are supposed to pass, rather than writing the full queries. There are chances in an industry માં એવું થાય કે as a Java developer you don't know the DB, you don't know maybe the queries. what thing that you only know how to pass the parameters. So this is the best way to have procedures in your enterprise level application, so that you can easily call the procedures and overall performance of your application will be better. And because queries are right here with the database, you simply pass the parameters. So let's check how this work with the Java, right? So let's define okay, let me copy paste. I'll rewrite the code again, but let me skip few steps. This is JDBC, the callable statement, right? Callable statement, fine. Let me go to the callable statement. Okay, let me remove the unnecessary parts that we don't need, right? Okay, let me remove this, and let's check what are the things missing. Okay, here is my query, and I need the password is Ravi. Here is the password for my database. So the class.for name is done, even the connection is defined now. So now let's define the callable statement, which is callable statement. Instance name is cstconn.prepare call. Now here is the place that you need to call your procedure. Let's assume that we need to call this first procedure. The first procedure is insert, in which I need to pass 3 parameters, right? So let's go to the Java code. The syntax for calling a procedure is call, right? Into bracket, you need to pass the set of values like this. This is going to be the procedure, right? Call and emp insert and the set of values. And even before that, you have to make sure that all these things kept inside the curly braces, right? So this is the way. Yes, call, and you have to pass the set of values which are required for your procedure. Call, and you need to mention the procedure name like this, emp insert. Let me copy this. Yes, now it is ready for you. આપણે જો આવું બી કંઈક કરી શકીએ, SQL કરીને અહીંયા બી એને assign આ રીતે કરી શકીએ to make it more easier for you. And this one, and the semicolon, and just specify the SQL. But to call a procedure, you need a call keyword, then the procedure name, and into the bracket a list of parameters, and all these things must be kept inside this curly braces. So we have defined the callable statement along with the procedure which is required for our CST, the callable statement. The next step is to set the values for these placeholders, right? So let's define the parameter value. I'm sure you have seen my previous video. In prepared statement there were also the placeholders. Placeholders are identified by their parameter index. So we need to make sure that we pass the exit data type value to the appropriate index number. Let's say first is my employment number, like this. The first is the employment number. This is ENO, right? So I need to set the parameter number and the value, right? Let me check. Okay, it is a number. Let me check what are the last values. The last value is 13 and Ajay Jadeja 130. So let me make the another value which is 14, which is going to be the number. CST dot, let's say, set string. The parameter number, which is the second one, is going to be 2. Then I need the player name or the employment name here. Let's say AZHAR, Azhar, right? So parameter second is also set, and finally CST dot set float. The parameter number is 3 and the value is going to be 140. So it is almost ready now. જો આપણે callable statement બનાવ્યું એની અંદર valid આપણે પ્રોસિજરનું નામ આપ્યું, પેરામીટરના પ્લેસહોલ્ડર્સ આપી દીધા, પછી પેરામીટર 1, 2 and 3 which is 1, 2 and 3 respectively એની વેલ્યુઝ આપણે સેટ કરી. Finally we need to call the procedure by doing this execute, right? The execute update. It will execute this method or the procedure, and it can also return a value rows affecting as we have seen earlier. So let's define system dot out dot println rows affected, right? Affected and then plus nn. So let's check whether this other is added to this table or not. Let me run the application, Java application. Yes, rows affected when. Let me go to here and refresh the query for you. Yes, here is other. So it is far more easier for those who don't know how to write SQL queries, right? The database જે developer હોય, DB developer જેને આપણે database administrator બોલીએ, આ procedures બનાવીએ તમને ખાલી procedure ના નામ આપી દે. એનાથી બીજો બેનિફિટ એ બી થાય, જો તમે એન્ટરપ્રાઇઝ લેવલની એપ્લિકેશન બનાવતા હો તો તમારે ક્યાંય આપણે જાવાના કોડની અંદર જો ક્યાંય આપણે ક્વેરી નથી લખી, મોર્સ ઓવર ક્વેરી ન લખો તો ટેબલનું નામ બી ના આવે, અને ટેબલનું નામ ન આવે તો મે બી એના ફિલ્ડ્સ આ તે એની વેલ્યુઝ જે ફિલ્ડના નામ જે છે એ બી ક્યાંય નહીં આવે. So it is better to have this procedures. It works very rapidly. So this is the procedure in which આપણે શું કર્યું કે એક ઇન્સર્ટની પ્રોસિજર જે હતી એને આપણે કોલ કરી. But there is another kind of procedure which can also be called using this callable statement. So let me define this. હજી આપણે જો અહીંયા ટ્રાય કરીએ હજી એક વખત અહીંથી આપણે કોલ કરીએ છીએ, રાઈટ? પહેલાં ચેક કરીએ હવે કઈ પ્રોસિજર આપણે કોલ કરવી છે. So I have this second procedure. This is the first one in which it is returning something, right? Procedure માંથી કંઈક return થાય છે. જો આ create procedure get employment name in which in parameter શું છે તો કે એક employment નો નંબર છે અને out શું છે તો કે અહીંથી એક વેલ્યુ છે પાસ કરશે. So let me copy the procedure name. Procedure name આ છે. It has two parameters, one is in and one is out, right? In parameter જે છે તો આની જેમ આપણે પાસ જ કરવાનું છે. તો સીધું અહીંથી કોપી કરીને લઈ લ્યો કે 1 નંબર જે છે એની વેલ્યુ 14 છે, એટલે 14 માં આપણે શું એન્ટર કરેલું છે, અઝર પ્રીવિયસલી કરેલું છે એ આપણે જોઈએ છે, રાઈટ? ઓકે, એક આ જ સ્ટેટમેન્ટ બાકી રહી ગયું, આપણે આને રીડિફાઇન કરવું પડે આ રીતે, કેમ કે પ્રોસિજરનું નામ આપણે બદલાવી નાખ્યું છે. એટલે ખાલી આ રીતે CST લખી નાખો અને આ વસ્તુ છે એને હું કોમેન્ટ કરી દઉં છું, સો દેટ વરી પાછું સ્ટેટમેન્ટ છે એક્ઝિક્યુટ ન થાય. સો ઓકે fine, now it is going to be okay. Call get employee name. આપણે 1 નંબર પેરામીટર છે એમાં 14 આપ્યું છે, એટલે 14 નંબર જે છે will be passed here as parameter 1. પછી ક્વેરી છે રન થશે, સિલેક્ટ ઈ નેમ, એક ડેટાબેઝનું ફિલ્ડનું નામ છે, ઇન્ટુ વિચ આર પેરામીટર નામ જે આઉટ છે એમાં આવશે ફ્રોમ એમ્પ્લોયમેન્ટ ટેબલ વેર એમ્પ્લોયમેન્ટ નંબર ઇઝ P1 વિચ ઇઝ આપણે 14 જે પાસ કરીએ છીએ. So before doing anything else, let's execute the query like this. આ query છે એ simply આ રીતે execute કરવાની હોય. But one thing which is different from the previous case is what, કે આ કેસમાં સેકન્ડ પેરામીટર જે છે એ આપણો આઉટ પેરામીટર છે, એટલે એને આપણે અહીંયા રજિસ્ટર કરાવવું પડે, રજિસ્ટર આઉટ પેરામીટર ધ સેકન્ડ પેરામીટર, અને અહીંયા આપણે વેલિડ SQL ટાઈપ આપણે દેવી પડે એને types.char, right? Means we are specifying that the second placeholder is an out parameter. તો જેવી ક્વેરી રન થશે એટલે સેકન્ડ પેરામીટરની ડેટા ટાઈપ છે કેર છે આપણે મેન્શન કરી દીધી છે. નાઉ CST ડોટ એક્ઝિક્યુટ ક્વેરી એક્ઝિક્યુટ થશે, અહીંથી 1 નંબર જશે, 1 નંબરનું નામ છે, એમાંથી રિટર્ન થશે અને આઉટ પેરામીટરમાં આવી ગયું છે. Now we need to define a variable to hold the thing which is written by this procedure. So let me dot get string, right? Parameter number is 2. Like this, previously મેં અહીં જો કરેલું જ છે. So I'm sure this is going to return the other name because 14 number છે આપણે add કરેલું છે. Let's check this one. Java application, it is other. Let me change the value, right? Let me have the 13 employee. Who is number 13? Is Ajay Jadeja. Let me check the 12. Who is 12? Sorry. Run Java application. The 12 is Robin. So this is the way to use the callable statement. I hope you like the video. If you show, then like the video, comment your query if you have any, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.